Alright, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we're going to be taking a look at all the pickups for July 2021. And there's quite a bit here, and they're all different things. They're not all the same genre. We've got some omnibus, we've got some actual novels, we've got some video games, we've got some video game related items that are all very different. So I'm quite excited about that because I like a mix of things. So let's start this off with the only item that I haven't done an overview yet for. Everything else I did an overview of, but this I will be doing an overview of hopefully tomorrow. And that is the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD Joy-Cons. So now I have pretty much everything that was related to Zelda Skyward Sword for that release. These were hard to pick up at the beginning, like to get a pre-order. I feel like they were up in Canada for maybe half an hour to an hour, but I have seen that they have gone back in stock at the time for like a few days ago. They were back in stock. I don't know if they still are here in Canada, but that was kind of cool that they did get a restock of this, and this was really hard to get a pre-order for, though. And then I ended up getting the Zelda and Loftwing amiibo as well, which I did do an overview of. And this is used for in the game to be able to go back and forth. Instead of, there's specific areas that you can go, so you can go back up in the air on the island, and you can use this to bypass that, not have to use those specific points. So you can kind of just jump up there anytime that you want, which is kind of useful. That was an expensive amiibo, though. Obviously, we did get the video game, The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Haven't put as much time as I would have liked to in this. I am liking it. I'm seeing some similarities for where they got, because this is the only Zelda game that I have not played. I owned it on the Wii U like day one, and I never played it for whatever reason. I think Skyrim was out at the time, and there was a few other games that I was playing too at that time. But anyway, never got into it, and I'm liking it. It's not Breath of the Wild, and going from like Breath of the Wild to this is a little bit hard, but I can see the inspirations that they used to eventually make Breath of the Wild with this game, and really excited to dive a little bit more into it. And I want to do an impressions video when I get 10 hours, but I'm not even 10 hours into the game yet. Another one I picked up is Legend of Mana, and this is the physical edition from Play Asia. This was the PlayStation 1 version of the game, now on the Switch, which looks beautiful. I hope that they continue doing this. Just put as many PlayStation 1 RPGs on the Switch. It'll make me so happy. And then go and start putting some 64 games, though. It's great that we're getting, but this is Square that's mainly doing that, so Square is kind of looking at their catalog. But Ogre Battle 64, that could totally be one that they could release on the Switch, and that would be freaking awesome. I want more games from that era, 64 and PlayStation 1. Keep porting them to the Switch, and I'll be very, 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 very happy. Let's talk about this. I ended up getting the, what is this called? Satisfy. The Satisfy case, along with the grip, and this is the see-through clear, I think it's like the ice something, I believe. Very happy to have this. I mean, I had one already, but I like the look of this one a little bit more, and I wanted the case as well, because when you're lugging the Switch around, you want to be able to fit the Switch along with the grip inside of it, and you can do that with this one. I've also got the latest Share the Peanut novel, Not a Happy Family. I have not had any time to read this. I had maybe an hour at one point, and I'm 6 chapters in, so about that far in, and I'm really enjoying this. This is, Share the Peanut is one of the few authors that I found that is able to talk about just everyday life, to really get into the background of what a character is like, because you can relate to them. And they're doing just nothing exciting, and they're just setting the dynamic of the family before anything happens, and I'm really enjoying that. I would kind of like one of my favorite novels of all time, the series of novels of all time, is Harry Potter, and one of the things that Rowling is able to do is that's one of my favorite parts of that series, is talking about when they have to take their exams, and talking about like the year end, and how they're doing with their grades, and how they have to study and stuff. And normally that would be extremely boring, I think, probably to most people, but Rowling is able to do it in such a way that I'm excited to hear about that. The 7th book, which doesn't really take place at Hogwarts at all, was one of my least favorites, because I wanted to have them at Hogwarts. I wanted them to be going to school and you know, having struggles of being a 17-year-old, taking school lessons and having to do homework. I really enjoyed that. I'm really weird in that sense, but Shirley Pina is able to kind of talk about regular boring stuff that are really exciting to me. So and nothing exciting has happened yet. And we also have the Lord of the Rings, and I think it says The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings with illustrations by Alan Lee box set that I have. That came out last year in 2020, and this is by far the best box set for the Lord of the Rings that I've ever seen. I absolutely love this. This is by far the best way to go. Really good paper quality, hardcover books, and there's art every once in a while from Alan Lee, who I think is the best. When I think of Lord of the Rings, as much as I love the movies, because I really do, I think of Alan Lee's portraits of Lord of the Rings. That's where my imagination goes when I'm reading the books. It's incredible. And last but not least, we've got 2 omnibus as well. Fantastic Four, Volume 2, the Silver Age, with the incredible new spine that we have here. But the material is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to that. And last but not least, X-Men, The Age of Apocalypse Companion, which just has a modern Marvel Omnibus spine, which falls in line with pretty much all the other modern books as well. I feel like every time that I mention the new spines, I'm just going to be very disappointed, unfortunately. But anyway, that's everything man, that just brings me down so much. But that's everything I picked up in the month of July. August doesn't look like it's going to be that busy. There's not really a lot of big things coming out. There's no video games that I'm going to be picking up that I know of anyway. So it might be a little bit of a slower month, but things will definitely be picking up in September. So keep in mind for that. Let me know in the comments below what you ended up picking up in the month of July, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Beardage!